Okay, so everybody's been asking who gonna be the boys, right? It's all over TikTok. It's so funny, right? Like, who are the men who are actually gonna step up, lead, protect, show up, be the real man? Like, who gonna be the boys? And I get that. That's a very real conversation. Oh, but today I am here to ask the other side of that question. Who gonna be the girls? Not the church girls with the cute Bible covers and a nice TikTok following, talking about let me pray for you today. Just showing up on Sundays, want to go home and doing what they want to do. No. I'm talking about, when are the girls going to show up? Who is going to walk in their purpose? Who is ready to get serious about who God has called them to be? Not for the gram, not for no man, not for church, not for your mama, but for real. I am talking to the ones, and I understand this is not going to be my best episode. This is not going to be the one that's listened to the most, but I know somebody out there is just like me, who wants more, who wants God. And I understand it's not popular. It's so much easier to do what you want, dress up, look cute, fellowship, kiki, and go on about your business and do whatever you deem is right. But I'm talking to the girl who has realized that what I'm doing is not enough. This lifestyle I'm living will not suffice. I'm talking to you. So it's gonna be like that today. Yes. So as you can see, this episode is just gonna be a little heavy, but it's gonna be good. So don't turn it off. I want to welcome you back to Approaching Yellow. And I'm Courtney. If you're new here, I'm so glad you found me. You picked the right season to show up. Season 4 is giving very much intentional, giving very much slow down. It's giving let's actually deal and heal. So grab your coffee, your water, or whatever you have, and let's talk about it. Because today's conversation is for my girls. Like, specifically the church girls. You know, if you follow me on anything, you know how passionate I am about Christian women. It is my aesthetic. As much as I try to get away from it, as much as I try to veer off and do other things, something brings me right back here. And before anybody gets defensive, because this is going to be a very heavy show, I am not coming for you, because I am you. And honestly, it is what it is. I'm still becoming something different. So this is a safe space, and we're going to be very honest today. Oh, yeah. So real quick, before we keep going, I wanted to share, it's been a long time since I've really been tapped into my church girl aesthetic. And, after losing my homegirl, I took some time away. But starting in April, I'm bringing it back. And I want you to be a part of it. So to be in the know, click on the link in my bio on my Instagram to subscribe. It's going to be free, newsletter like launch type thing, and I got some little goodies coming up. I'm not bluffing. If you could do that for me, that would really make my day. Again, go right on to my Instagram at Coco Yellow, click the link in the bio, and it will say subscribe. Put your email in and you'll be in. All right, let's get back to it. So here's the thing that nobody talks about, or nobody really says out loud. There is a difference between church girl and godly woman. And if you would have said that to me about 4 years ago, I would probably get so defensive with you, because I just didn't understand at that time. I thought that once a church girl, always a church girl, which is true. However, there are different seasons of Christian women in a life of a Christian woman. I have a community called Church Girl Society, and I used to get so upset when people would say, "Oh, I'm not a church girl, I'm a woman of God." And I'm like, "Okay, girl, like you want a cookie?" But now I understand it is not the dress in some seasons, or just the attendance, or whether you know all the words to the songs. It is literally the motive that determines where you are in each season. And I've learned that a church girl looks the part, but a godly woman is the part. And I say that with love because here we go. I spent years looking the part, dressing the part, saying the right things, knowing the lingo, showing up in the right places, making sure the right people saw me, doing the right things, fighting so hard to make sure that my tea is not in the street so I don't get set down and I can continue to have this wonderful reputation. And if I could be honest, it is very exhausting to this day because majority of that was not for God. It was for approval. I needed people, something in me needed people to see me as a good one. The together one. The spiritual one. As long as they did, I felt okay. My unhealed trauma needed that validation to survive at one point. But I keep going back to this one thing. Once the room got quiet and nobody was watching, I did not know who I was. And that is a church girl problem. And it took me a long time to admit I had it. It's just, I think back to some of the silly things that I used to do. And I wonder, like, you really tried to play that off as that was for the kingdom. You really tried to make that, like, I cringe at the thought of passing that off in the name of God. And I believe, I was young, you had to learn, but, Jesus. Like at the NBA, and here we go with this. They have like a dress code for your photo. Nothing too casual, but you cannot have anything that covers your face. Because the picture has to accurately represent you. For as long as you have the license. And that ID is how the world identifies you, right? I want you to think about that for a second. Like, if God takes your photo right now, like not the Sunday morning version, not the Instagram version, not the version you perform, or the version that you're handing out to people who are watching. I'm talking about the private you. I'm talking about 2 a.m. when you up scrolling with your bonnet and your eye patches on. The one where no validation is in sight. And you barely have friends. Like, no one's on your side. And you're hurt. You're depressed. Would that photo match the ID that you've been handling people? Like, that you've been handing people? Because a lot of us have been walking around with a fake ID. Y'all remember fake IDs? I never had one. But I got a homegirl who had at least like 2 or 3 because she was younger than us. So when she would pull them out, I just think it was just the funniest thing because it actually would work. And not trying to be fraudulent or nothing, just trying to have a good time. But it is performing in an identity that was never fully ours to begin with. And let's be frank, guys. We inherited church. But we never, I'm not going to say never, but it took us a long time to actually choose God. And there's a big difference. I know. Sit with it. But it's okay. There's a woman in the Bible that I want to talk about real quick. And she's probably not who you expect for this conversation. But I think it's actually perfect. Let's talk about the woman at the well in John 4. She came to the well alone in the middle of the day, which if you know anything about that culture, that means that she was trying to avoid people because she didn't want to hear nobody's mouth. She had a reputation, a very extensive one, actually. And I know she was probably tired. Like, I'm thirsty. I just want to get something to drink in peace. And I know that I could just imagine how tired she was of being defined by everything she done and everybody she been with. Homegirl had a very extensive resume, okay? And I'm not here to judge, okay? Because does that sound familiar? Even though nobody know your business. All right. But the point is, Jesus met her there. She was not cleaned up. She wasn't in a temple. She didn't have a need to perform because, again, it was just her. And at her lowest, most exposed moment, he was there. He did not lead with her failures. He led with her thirst. Isn't it amazing that we serve a God that his thoughts are not our thoughts. His ways are not our ways. And we don't have to worry about him judging us as others or the world judges us. That is such a beautiful thing. He basically said to her, everything you've been running to, trying to feel full, you know that it's not working. Like, be for real with yourself. But I am a well that will never run dry if you just give me a chance. And after that little conversation, baby girl dropped her pot, literally left it behind, and went and told everybody a man who actually saw her for who she was. She went from hiding to testifying and telling of God's goodness. And it is such a transformative story when you literally just give Jesus a chance. Like when you really realize, and just that feeling that you feel of not being satisfied and nothing will suffice, nothing will just cure that hunger or that thirsting. You know that you want more, but instead of going to God, we try our best to fill it with other things when we can literally just fill it with a relationship with God. Again, this woman, she wasn't cleaned up. She wasn't perfect. She was just finally done performer. It's crazy. Performing. She was finally done performing. Anybody finally done performing? I know I am. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I don't care what y'all think no more. I am ready for God to use me, fill me until I want no more, child. Because if we're honest, a lot of things we do is for validation. And see, since we already out in the waves in the deep part, I want to talk about that validation piece. Because in my prayer time, this is something that God has recently been dealing with me about, if I can be transparent. But I'm going to go slow and I'm going to hold your hand, because this was hard for me to come to terms with as well. Because validation is actually the root of it all. A church girl who is not in her season of becoming a godly woman constantly needs the affirmation, the approval, the nod from the right person. Listen, if we could be honest, when somebody that know how to dress tell you got on something nice, that's a good feeling. Y'all can leave me out here if y'all want to, but you know the truth. You're going to walk different the whole day. The likes, the compliments at the service, the girl, you so anointed. I love you. I look up to you. And listen, affirmation is not bad. We all need it sometimes. But when your identity depends on it, when you falling apart without it, when you change who you are to get it, that is the problem. That is the performance. And here is something that I keep coming back to in my devotional time. You cannot fully know God while you're that addicted to what people think about you. When you live, eat, and breathe the opinions of others, they are always going to be in conflict. Your relationship with God will always buck up against that need for validation. People want you to be comfortable. They want to be comfortable with you. They want you to be familiar. They want you to be, what is the word I'm looking for? Palatable. I think that's it. When they can, you know what I'm saying, you do what they want you to do. But God is going to ask you the total opposite. Like, he's going to ask you to be obedient. He's going to ask you to do what he says do. And guess what? Obedience is not cute. It's not popular. It's most of the time it's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be what you don't want to do, what is out of the norm for you. And at some point, you're going to have to decide, who am I doing this for? Okay, once a church girl, always a church girl, but it is time for me to become the woman that God is calling me to be. Because the godly woman isn't the one that has it all together. She ain't playing like she got it all together either. She is finding out what her purpose is in the kingdom, not for her family, not for her friends, not for her church, but for her. It is time for you. If you are feeling like this and you know that there is a yearning for more, nothing is going to fill it. Not the clothes, not the men, not the events, not the kikiing, not the fellowship, the traveling to different, it's not going to work. The only thing that's going to fill you is the Lord. So you might as well stop looking, honey. Stop looking and start becoming something that doesn't need a crowd to feel valid, but only seeking validation from your maker, your creator. And I feel so strongly about this validation conversation because this is something that we do not talk about openly. We turn our nose up to it, but everybody wants it. Validation, yes. A lot of us were raised to be strong, responsible, holding things together. But at the end of the day, we still want to be affirmed. We still want to be seen. Like, I want to be valued, and that's human. But a mature woman of God learns how to separate the validation from identity. Your identity cannot depend on attention. It cannot depend on praise or who notices you or who doesn't. Because if your identity is rooted in God, you're steady wherever. Like, it don't matter if nobody like my outfit, nobody say nothing, or nobody feels like, I'm that girl in this season or whatever. Nobody's clapping, nobody's looking, you not stopping the room. It doesn't matter because you are literally rooted and planted in God. And I think we need to get back to that in this season. I know you hear me. So let's lift it up. Let's breathe. Let's woosah. Take our 4 breaths and in and out. And let's lift it up a little bit lighter. So I have some must-haves for church girls growing into godly women in this season. Now, as we are changing, I think there are a few things that every church girl needs to have. And these are just my 5 things that I've been working on. So, number 1, and I wrote this down, a real relationship with God. When I tell you I have been so much more consistent with my prayer time and my devotional time, and I think that's where the awakening is coming from, just spending more time in his presence, like not just church culture, not just doing church work, but a real connection has definitely changed the way I think and the way I move, honestly. So get yourself a war room, homie. Number 2, emotional awareness. Knowing how to handle your feelings and not suppress them or explode. Whew. This is something Courtney is working on. Just taking them to God in prayer. It has been the best thing for me, baby, because I am very emotional. But knowing that and being able to pinpoint and knowing when, okay, I need to calm down. Yes, I've been working on it. And I think you should too. Number 3, discipline. Showing up for life constantly and consistently. Discipline is definitely a hard space for me because I could do it for 2 weeks and I'll be like, but this podcast has shown me that I can do something consistently and stick with it. Get your thing and stick to it. Number 4, boundaries. You can be loving and still have limits. And again, like I said, this is real, y'all. This is real. I'm not making this up. No chat GPT. This is literally me. My boundaries, baby. I don't know how to do nothing, but I only know how to love one way, and that's hard. But I've been working on it and realizing that for me to accomplish some things, I have to have boundaries. So we've been working on it. And number 5, self-awareness. Knowing your strengths and your weaknesses and being honest about where you're still growing. And that is why we have this topic today. I am still growing. While I love to be a little wild church girl and just have fun and do all the things church girls do, it is time. My heart is yearning for something different. So I'm being self-aware. Listen, the church girls that are going to thrive in this next season are not just going to be faithful in church, but they're going to be faithful in life. And I'm so excited because, believe it or not, church girls are evolving. And I don't want you to get left behind. Yeah, so when I say who gonna be the real church girls, I'm not asking who's gonna look the part, because y'all got the clothes. I'm asking who's willing to grow, who's willing to mature, who is willing to really be a whole woman in God in every area of your life. All right, let's pray. Lord, I thank you for every woman listening today. I pray that you continue to shape us into whole women of God, strong in our faith, wise in our decisions, secure in our identity, and helping us to grow. Help us to grow in every area of our lives and remove the need for validation that doesn't come from you. We ask that you teach us to walk in discipline. Help us to be more confident, Lord, and bring along a little bit of humility that will transform us day by day. We trust you, and we trust mostly in the work that you're doing in us. We believe you and we love you. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.